Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day, my friends. How is everybody? Happy Sunday to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I hope your kids are doing something nice for you guys. You all deserve it. That's for damn sure. Nobody works harder on this planet than a mother. Alright, guys, please subscribe, give the video a like, leave me a comment, and by all means, share it with somebody you think you might get something out of it. And then we'll get into it. So today, guys, Sunday, you guys, for those of you that have been around for a while, Sunday is, in my life, is God's day. Again, higher power, God, Goddess, universe, Buddha, Spirit, Allah, however you give reverence is perfectly fine. In my eyes, at least, it's all the same. This weight that we put on, thinking that one is better than the other at the end of the day, as long as they're telling you to be the best version of you, and to love yourself and to love your neighbor and to not sin and be the best person you can. It seems like a pretty pretty straightforward thing. We should really be focusing on the similarities rather than the differences. I think that's where the problems stop. But again, this is going to be not going to be a political video, so I call it God's Day. First of all, we'll start off with the Just for Today NA meditation, which was a lot of our chief concerns and major difficulties come from our lack of experience in living without drugs or alcohol. Today, I will seek balance in my life. I will ask others to share their experience in finding balance. And as you guys know, balance has been a huge part of my success this time around. In previous attempts and really throughout my life, I had not healed. I was very imbalanced, and the only sense of self-worth I ever got was out of work. So I would just pour myself into work, and that way I felt like I was producing something, and it made me, it was the only way I ever had any sense that I was worth anything. And today, nothing's further from the truth, and thank God for that. I give God full credit for that, because He healed all that in me. This time around when I started to get clean, it was different from months before I actually got clean. It started because I started praying and I started asking for help, and God started making promises to me through different different ways. I won't get into that because it's my one-on-one relationship, but and honestly, he's made good on every promise. He promised to remove all the negativity from my heart. He promised he would restore me, and all these things have been happening, guys. So by the time I left rehab, I didn't have a lot of answers, but I didn't have any negativity. I was very, very positive, and I've remained that way. I'm certainly somebody that looks at the glass half full, and I believe that's very important, guys, because looking at that, I believe positive. Your energy is matched in life. What you put out is what you get. And I think that's pretty well proven at this point, and therefore remaining positive. And I've been on like the extreme side of it, and I'm appreciative of that. And a lot of people tell me constantly that you're riding a pink elephant, and that's fine too. I understand they're trying to be concerned and don't want me to crash. But this is literally we're going on 4 months of day in and day out, and I show off the same person, same energy every day, and I love it. And it's because I choose to look at the look at I choose to look at the glass half full, and I count my blessings. I look at the blessings I have, and I literally, it's not hard to do, guys. I literally look at the way I was living and how I was feeling, and I was typically, being happy was a decision I had made before I got clean. So I was literally I was looking at the good in my miserable existence. Today I'm thriving. It's not hard to be happy, but again, it's also a choice that you make. You can't always control the situations that life will present you, but what you can control is your reaction to them. You cannot allow them to take it personally and make it so that you're angry all the time. And I think that's hugely important, guys. And again, you don't have to, nobody practices perfection. I find myself getting irritated and aggravated, but I catch myself and I don't let it own me, and I don't let it run rampant throughout my life. And it's paying off in spades, whether it's just because I'm showing up that healed, happy, outgoing, positive person that's opening doors of opportunity for me because other people want to collaborate and be around me, or whether it's just beautiful. It's paying off every which way. With that being said, so yes, that's one thing I did do, guys. Is I've paid attention. I've done a lot of listening, and I've listened to what has worked for other people, and those are the things that I do. and then again I apply them to my life the best that I can and make them fit for my situation. And I'm doing it to the best of my ability, and it's working phenomenally well. I have no cravings. I don't glorify my former lifestyle. I don't hang out in places that would be a trigger or would be drugs are being used. I find new sober ways to fill my time. This channel included things of this nature. Whether it's researching, I'm going to school at Harvard. Like these are all things that weren't happening in my drug days, guys. I run my business. I'm searching new ways. For those of you that want to start a business, guys, something to be wary of. I saw an ad today for a lead service, and I've never had much luck with them. But again, I've never been legit either. And this is the first time I've actually made it through an application process, and I was approved. And that felt really good. I'm like, wow, I'm actually like 100% legit. I can even pass an online lead service because they want licenses and pictures of IDs, and everything has to match. And for once in my life, I actually snuck right through it. It was beautiful, and I get all these leads come in. But if you accept them, is when you pay. And I just glanced over a couple of them, and I looked at one. Now, guys, I would typically charge about $150 to install a toilet, and it's a toilet install lead. The lead service wants $46 if I click on the job. If I'm picked as one of the people, I may not even get the job and still pay $46 for that lead. It's a third of what I would charge for the job. That's insane. There's no way I would do that. So you got to always, look into things, guys, because you never know what may work. But don't expect everything to be perfect, and be careful before you sign on to something that's going to be, ridiculous. These people have me driving around trying to do 40 different jobs, spending $200 a day in gas, and them taking a third of the pay, and then doing jobs next to nothing, and I'll be running around for 8 hours, and I'll be lucky to make $20, where I typically make $20 before I leave my door in the morning here. No, so again, it's just being discerning, looking into avenues, take the wins for what they are, and the fact that I made it through I've never made it through one of those processes before, and I made it through with no problem today, and that was huge for me. Like that was a huge deal. And maybe some leads will be better, maybe it'll be worth it. I'll keep an eye on it, but I didn't even. Fortunately, I can view the ads without actually putting my payment information, because once I do that, and if I click on the ad and offer my services to the customer, then I pay for the ad. Like, as many people, say 5 people, put in a bid for the job, all 5 of them will have to pay the ad service, and then whoever gets it, gets it. But, like, that's crazy. These people are making, good for them. Smart business platform, but unless there are a lot better jobs for a lot less ad revenue on each lead, there's no way that's going to work. But again, it's just one more thing, guys. You always got to be careful and pay attention. So yeah, Sunday, God's Day, guys. I had something I'd written up the other day. Give me a second to find this, and we're going to go over that. And what it was praise to be raised. Okay, yeah, it's my little that was my little slogan from the other day. I didn't get to a video. Guys, when you praise your Lord, man, again, Spirit, Buddha, Law of Attraction, Universe, it doesn't matter to me. You don't even have to believe it as being an almighty, omni-powerful figure. The resonance of the universe, you know what I mean? Yeah, obviously, there's a ebb and flow, and there's a control, and there's a order to everything going on around us. And again, whoever's, God to me is the one that controls all that. However you choose to put it, that's what works for me. But when you're thankful, right? When you give gratitude, I say it all the time, guys, the state of gratitude is the most powerful place to be, because it shows that not only are you focusing on the good, that you're appreciating the beauty of everything around you. There's, in the smallest of situations, there's beauty in everything, guys. And when you're grateful for the opportunities and blessings that you have, that's where your energy is, right? So, and when your energy goes, and where your energy goes, opportunities flow, right? And so literally, like, I've been a master manifester for decades. I just didn't know it. I was manifesting negativity into my life by being negative and doing negative things and focusing on negativity. I was showing the universe that's what I wanted, and I was attracting much, much more of it on a daily basis. And what I didn't realize is the power that I had in all that. Here I am thinking I'm getting run over by it, and I'm creating it all myself, because that's what I'm focusing on, that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm acting upon. So today I don't do that. Today I give thanks. I stay eternally grateful. And again, it's not about saying these things, guys. It's about embodying it. It's about actually being it. That's where I hear all these different people that, they read a sentence and want to get online and be a coach and say, well, you've got to act as if. it's not about acting, guys. It's about being that way, right? When you live in a state of gratitude, when you are legitimately happy, you get up in the morning and say, "Oh my God, I'm sober today. I've got the opportunities. I'm healthy. I can get up and do as I want. I'm not going further in debt." When you're looking at these positive things in your life, and then you start acting on them, more positive things start coming to you because that's what you're looking into. And it makes you a more happy person. It makes you a more engaging person. When you're grateful for the work that you have to do, you do a better job in doing it. So now you're doing a better job and you're standing out, whether it's just between how you were previously, right? When you're elevating your game in every way, shape, or form, and being in a state of gratitude and and giving thanks. Those are two of the fastest, quickest ways to improve your life. You can see the good in everything. Today, every time something goes wrong, I see there's a lesson in it, and it's all interconnected. And it's shockingly blatant in my life today because I'm living a shockingly blatant life. And when it happens, I'm like, literally, I can step back and go, wow, like literally, look at the answer I got, instantaneously letting me know that is not for me. If I follow down that path, bad things are going to come. And I feel incredibly grateful for that opportunity because it just saved me God knows how long of heartache and problem and financial ruin and relationship ruin and God forbid my sobriety. Like my sobriety is one thing that I cherish more than anything in this life because it is the start of everything good that is happening in my life. It is the number one gift that God gave me was the desire to get sober. And now everything is happening because of that. It's because I'm maintaining my sobriety. It's changing the person that I am. It's changing the defective person that I was behaving as before, and it's giving me back the person that I've always been underneath, that I was not allowing the world to see. And that person is being received beautifully well, right? And it's because I'm giving praise and I'm staying grateful and I'm challenging myself to actually do the work, to do everything to the best of my ability, to not, and that's part of that, guys, is I have to say no to things because anything I say I'm going to do, I force myself to do, and I do it to the best of my ability, and I try to help other people around and make it something special so that it stands out and it's working really well. Well, part of that means you've got to be willing to say no to things, and that's the thing I could never do before. I'd just say yes, 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 and when I get overwhelmed, I'd pick and choose, or I'd shut down and I'd go hide. And it's not a recipe for success, guys. The good things don't come to that. Today, good things come to me because I immediately say no when I can't do something, and I explain why. Like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. This is what I'm about today, and this is why I can't, and that's why. Well, yeah, but you did before. No, well, what I did before was different because I wasn't paying for business, and I didn't have a legal business. I didn't have a truck payment. I didn't have insurance payments. I didn't have licenses to pay for. I wasn't paying my rent. You know what I mean? I wasn't renting a facility. I wasn't buying toolboxes. Like now, I'm doing these things so that I can do these things and so I can run a life and have a life. And because of it, I can't be cutthroat rages, and I can't be out doing crazy things because I matter to myself now, and I want to succeed, and I want to move forward, and I just let people know that, and it usually shuts them down pretty quickly because anybody that's questioning me is somebody that's trying to take advantage of me, and I could just tell them, to F off right off the bat, but I try not to be that person anymore either because I can't blame people for taking advantage of me when I was making it blatantly easy for them to take advantage of me. Now, granted, it doesn't make it right what they were doing because they knew what they were doing and they could have treated me fairly, but again, I was playing into it, and I'm not going to come off as holier than thou. But I will weed them out in the nicest way possible by just shutting them down until they come correct. And if they don't come correct, eventually they're going to give up because I would keep saying no. Nope, sorry, can't do it. I got a better opportunity, somebody that values my time more. And I'll say, things of that nature. And well, what do you mean I don't? Well, no, you're not willing to treat me like another professional. Yeah, but I've done this. No, you haven't. You've been taking advantage of me for years, and I'm no longer allowing it. Come correct or don't come at all. And I'm sorry. That's all there is to it. Guys, when you're changing your life, these are the tests that you're going to face because, again, whether you want to look at it as whether it's wreckage of your past or whether it's the universe getting you to stand up for yourself, like if you can't do it, you're not going to be rewarded. You're going to get stuck in the same old situation that you were doing prior. And that's ultimately your decision at the end of the day. So I'm encouraging you to stick up for yourself, fill your cup, heal, know your worth, sit back and, do your research, digest, and respond rather than reacting. These things that I tell you guys on a daily basis are not catchphrases. They are action steps that greatly improve your life. I mean, I've literally had a miraculous life change in, 4 short months. And again, I'm not balling by any means, but I'm certainly on top of my world. And I'm being set up for a beautiful, beautiful next chapter of life, and I'm not looking at days anymore. Now I'm looking into chapters, and I'm just taking it one moment at a time, and I'm not putting too much emphasis on the future, although I am making plans for the future. And part of that for me is saving money, because again, I'm going to have an opportunity in a couple of months to invest in the next property that I'm going to be doing as much work on as I want. I'll be doing the plumbing, the heating, and where whatever else I want, and I'll be getting a contracted price to do that. And I will be doing the GCing of the job, so I'll get a percentage of the entire construction cost at the end. And if I have enough money saved up ahead of time, I can put money in on the down payment of the place and own a percentage of the property to get a lump sum of that on the back end. And these are the ways that you end up making generational wealth, not off one job, but when you do them repeatedly and you take the profits from that one, you roll it into the next one. 2 or 3 projects down the road, I'll happen up, and again, he'll put my name on them. So now I'm building bank credit as well as an owner in some of these properties. So now, when I go to fill out the application, say, hey, I've got the $50,000 down payment. I found the property, and I've come through on 3 construction loans in the last 2 years that I'll be able to get that and have my own property. And that's where you start making real money, guys. These are the ways you make progress. And again, these don't fall into your lap. You've got to go out and earn them. And these are the opportunities that everybody goes, oh, well, you're working too hard and you're giving yourself away. No, I'm just doing the best I can and being the best person I can and stand out in every situation. And when people think that, you're not going to get blessed for that individual thing you're doing right then and there, this is why you go the extra mile on everyone, because then you get invited to the next phase of the game. And this is where the rewards start coming in, guys. Everything you do is seen by somebody. Nothing goes unseen, and you do them. And here's the easiest way to do it, guys. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because you think somebody's looking. Because when you do, because if you do it otherwise, eventually you're going to slip, and that's when someone's going to be looking. When you start living, and again, nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and forgive yourself for that. I make mistakes. I forgive myself. But I, as a general rule, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because somebody's watching. I do everything to the best of my ability. I show up the same energy, the same person all the time, and I'm doing these things consistently, and that's why it's the culmination of all of them, that these blessings are coming from so many different directions. And at some point, I'm going to have to decide, am I going to go the route of the Harvard business thing, or am I going to run the computer, or why can't I do both? Well, I'll build my company to the point where I can have a good manager and a couple employees, and I'll have them running that while I'm trying the other thing, or these are decisions for the future. But in the meantime, I'm keeping all my avenues open. I'm taking the opportunities that are presented in front of me and making the best decisions with what I got. Guys, don't know how we've already made it to 18 minutes. I apologize for that. Wanted to make this a quick Sunday God's Day check-in. But guys, when you live with your hand in your higher, hand in hand with God, your higher power, spirit, Buddha, our universe, these are the things that happen, guys. It's incredibly beautiful. Opportunities will come from places you never see them coming. Your blessings will often not look like what you expect them to, so do not be disappointed when the things you expect to happen don't necessarily happen. That usually means you're being redirected for something better than what you thought you were looking for, because as I've always said, I would only have limited myself. That's why I'm following the breadcrumbs and the synchronicities and the signs that God is showing me, because He knows what I'm truly capable of, and He thinks much bigger than I do. And it's working out in spades. I'm removing my limited beliefs from the equation. Guys, God loves you. I love you. Thanks so much for being here. We will see you in the next one.